Hello everybody, Kyle here. I am going to review Transformers Rise of the Beast. It just released today, and I could not be happier with this movie. As a kid, especially around the time the first Transformers film came out, I became a huge Transformers fan and started to really not just get the figures, but also look upon the lore. And there were moments where I was watching episodes of the animated series and also reading some of the books of Transformers that they wrote. But for me, the movies, like, I don't know, I'm one of the people that, because I got into the movies are like my Transformers. And I will say that without Michael Bay, I didn't know how, the franchise would continue. Bumblebee came out, and I thought Bumblebee was a pretty good film. I did think it missed some of the Bayhem elements of the first Transformers, and I did think some of the storylines, it didn't feel the same like the first Transformers first couple of films did, where it was, of course, it was now a Bumblebee movie, so it wasn't focused on, Optimus and the other Transformers. However, it did have, I think, a really endearing story with Haley Steinfeld's character. Going into this one, I gotta say that basically the story is revolving around the Maximals, these animal-like Transformers, and they have to join forces with the Autobots to go up against a grander threat, that being Unicron, the planet killer from the animated series, but also his own minions, which one of them is the Terracon known as Scourge, played by Peter Dinklage, or voiced by Peter Dinklage. And I have to say that the Autobots, the Terracons, and the Maximals all have incredible moments in this film. I was really most surprised with what they did with Optimus Prime, because lately I felt, even The Last Knight, which is my least favorite of the Transformers movies, I think that movie is just terrible. But one of the worst parts of that movie was what they did with Optimus Prime by trying to make him this evil version of himself. But we don't really get much of him in the movie, and the stuff we do get, we hardly get the evil Optimus Prime that is promised in the trailers. So that was very disappointing. And then we go into Bumblebee, and yes, it's a Bumblebee movie, but once again, it's another Transformers film that, Optimus Prime isn't, the main character. So I was so happy to see in this film, not only is Optimus Prime really front and center, but they actually do a lot with his character in terms of the development of his character, in terms of how he feels about, his team, about his family. Kind of like a Fast and Furious type of situation, but it works way better than Fast 10 worked. But what's also surprising is how they utilize the human characters in this film, because, I personally have enjoyed the human characters in the Transformers movies, except for really The Last Knight, where I found that it was all over the place. But here I think this is by far one of the best examples of the human characters, because they're using Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, as almost a comparison towards Prime, where a lot of the struggles that Noah is dealing with are also struggles that Optimus is kind of dealing with in his own way, about being a leader and being the leader of his family, trying to take care of his family, and being afraid of letting his family down. And that, I think, strengthens both these characters, because then when you get to their relationship, you really get to see them become friends and colleagues, because they are similar to each other. It's, I think, an even more emotional friendship than, say, Optimus and Sam from the first trilogy of Transformers movies, because Optimus was always that leader figure. You never really got to see him, with Sam all that much. But here we do get to see Optimus in one scene just talking to Noah about their own conflicts. There's also another great character, Elena, played by Dominique Fishback, and I love Dominique as an actress. She's so good. Watch Swarm if you haven't already. But what I also love about her is she gets to be really funny. She gets to have the time of her life making this film. And she's a very likable character along with Noah, which even, most recently in some of the other Transformers films, you don't really get that. You don't get these characters, specifically the female characters, getting to, be more than just, the sexualized object of the film. Thankfully, they didn't do that in Bumblebee. But we actually get to see Elena as her own character dealing with her own struggles. And then, like, as I mentioned, the Autobots, every single one of them, whether it's RC, whether it's Bumblebee, whether it's Mirage, who really, steals the show here. Pete Davidson does a great job as Mirage. Whether it's Wheeljack, and you get all these characters that get to shine in their various moments. And then you have the other characters, the Maximals, that although some might expect the Maximals to be like the main characters of this movie based on the trailer and marketing, they really aren't. They're there, but they're not in the entire film. There's so much more, important, and they're much more important in this movie than, say, the Dinobots were in Age of Extinction. That was something I was afraid of going into it. I was like, are they going to waste the Maximals? And I actually don't think they did. I think they used them for a reason. It's also called Rise of the Beast. It's not called, Beast Wars. So it's, I think, maybe setting up a potential movie where we get even more of the Beast. But we get them for, I would say, almost half the film. And they all, I think, get their moments to shine, whether it's Cheetor, whether it's Airazor, whether it's Optimus Primal, whether it's Rhinox. They all have action moments. They all have lines. They also, what's really cool is they also have these emotional moments where you get to see this one sequence between Airazor and Optimus Primal, and I've never felt like more towards the emotional reaction on, say, Optimus Primal's face than I have for any other Transformer. And the Terracons, my goodness, they are awesome. You have Scourge, played by Peter Dinklage, incredible bad guy. He reminded me of Lockdown from Age of Extinction, one of my favorite Transformers villains. And he's just badass. He's really brutal, does not take any prisoners. And he's at first really, hard to fight. Like, he is a match for the Transformers. And then you have Nightbird. She's really cool. I love her design, or like purple car design, but she also has these cool sword things that she uses. And then of course you have one of my favorites of this film, Battletrap, with this awesome weapon. It's like this wrecking ball mace thing that he can throw at something, and it sticks to a wall or something, then uses it as debris to fight the other Transformers. I'm astonished at how many Transformers are in this movie and how they all have their chance to shine, whether it's the Autobots, whether it's the Maximals, whether it's the Terracons. The action is incredible. There's many sequences in this film where the action does look different. It's not all in one setting, one location. They change it up a bit. They go from New York, they go to Peru. They even have this whole sequence with Unicron changing the landscape that we see in the trailers. And it's just everything I feel you could want in a Transformers movie, you get. And they also end this movie on something that as a kid I've wanted to see forever, and I had the biggest smile on my face. I cheered at the end when they revealed this. And also the music, I will say, because it is known Steve Jablonsky has a part in the score. They do play music from the other Transformers movies, and I am so happy they did, because they did not do that in Bumblebee, and I was very disappointed. So I'm glad to hear the Transformers theme still ringing true all these years later. I Couldn't recommend this movie more. It is really good. There's a really touching storyline between Anthony Ramos' Noah and his little brother. And I mean, it's really a summer blockbuster movie that I think everyone will enjoy, especially fans of Transformers. So, thank you so much for watching this review. Have a great day, and let me know what you thought about the movie. Take care, everybody. Bye.